I thought I had $1 billion idea, and I was like, this is it.
I'm riding this wave, as opposed to I'm out of control, I'm tipping, I'm about to crash.
He said I would barbecue pig and I would waft it over to my neighbor's yard.
That seems aggressive.
But my all-time best story, I have to tell you.
Let's go. Welcome to another episode of Being Jewish with Jonah Platt, 30-minute mensches. Same vibe, same tribe, shorter episodes. My guest today is a healer in more than one sense of the word. By trade, he's the founder and president of Joint Effort Chiropractic in White Plains, New York, where he specializes in non-surgical spinal decompression therapy, which sounds awesome to me. But by mission, he's the founder and president of Daily Giving, an online platform that's transformed the simple gift of $1 a day into over $13 million of tzedakah to over 75 Jewish causes around the world. He puts the mensch in mensch. Please welcome Dr. Jonathan Donath.
Thank you for having me, Jonah.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. So, it's 2018. You're doing Ma'ariv. You're doing your daily evening prayers at Shul. One day, you put $1 in the Tzedakah box. That's a collection box. And you're struck with this epiphany that $1 a day at scale could be really impactful. Were you marinating on something at the moment, or it just literally popped into your head out of thin air?
So I'd actually watched a YouTube video about this rabbi in Israel, and he says, I wasn't just a secular Jew. He says, I purposely ate cheeseburgers on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year. That's the kind of guy he was. He said, I would barbecue pig and I would waft it over to my neighbor's yard. He's like, that's the kind of vibe.
That seems aggressive.
It was, yeah. And he died of a drug overdose. And this video is like a 2-hour video talking about his near-death experience. And he basically said he was on the other side of, the other side, for what felt like 2 billion years. And the message he got, he was pain and suffering and darkness. And he said the message he got was, you don't even have one single mitzvah, not one good deed to elevate you. And just after finishing that powerful video, I put $1 in the charity box in my local synagogue. And I had that epiphany that no matter how much money I give to charity, I still get a good deed for this $1. What a deal. So I was like, how can I guarantee myself that no matter what, I'm giving to people who are less fortunate every single day? And so I called to my friends, and we end up automating this platform to try to get people all over the world to give $1 of charity together every day. And every day we give the entire amount to a different incredible Jewish nonprofit all over the world. It's a diversified portfolio. And to date, we've given out almost $27 million, and we're giving out over $8.3 million a year now.
Whoa, that is incredible. I was way off with my 13 million. You guys are crushing it. How do you think about the spectrum of mitzvot? Like what makes a small mitzvah versus a big one? Because one would think, giving $1 is a small thing. But when 22,000 plus people do it like they're doing on your site every day, you're making an enormous impact. You're part of a group that's giving an organization 22 grand in a day, which is incredible. So how do you think about that?
I think about it as a mitzvah is a good deed that connects us to our purpose. And so I like to say that giving, if you think about it, every species on earth is hardwired in our DNA to give, to have offspring, to procreate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So giving is actually puts us in alignment with our truest, highest essence. So it's not about the amount, it's about the frequency. It's not about the dollar, it's the daily. So that's how I look at it. It's not when you give and you make the decision to give the next day and the next day and the next day, you are actually building that giving muscle.
I love that. Let me play devil's advocate and hear what you have to say. So let's say I give $1 a day. I'm doing it every day. I'm feeling great. Or I go, here, I'm going to give you $1 million this one time, but then I'm not doing it again. Like, how do we compare those to each other?
Well, the great sage Maimonides says that exact thing. He says, if you give $100 to one person or $1 to 100 different people, you should give $1 to 100 different people. And for that specific reason, because giving is a muscle. And if you don't use a muscle, it atrophies. So how do you combat that atrophy? You train the muscle by giving. Think about the skills you learn in school when you grow up. English, math, science. You learn and practice them every single day. But we're not taught to look at giving the same way. We're taught generosity is a character trait. You're generous or you're not. No, it's a muscle. And the more you give, then the reward you get for giving is that you become a giver.
I love that. And you know a thing or two about muscles. So,
I do.
So it's doubly true. So on day one, you launched this thing, and I read you had 46 signups on day one. Did you feel like, wow, I got 46 signups? Or you're like, dang, only 46 signups.
Jonah, I was so disappointed when I had this idea I had the idea around the middle of 2018, and everyone I spoke to as we were getting ready to launch the website, everything was going on, everyone's like, oh, it's a great idea. I'm for sure going to do it. And I thought, I was so naive. I thought we'd have like 10,000 people the first few months. And so by day 10, when there's like no one signing up and there's like 100 people, I was just so upset. And so in my mind, I was like, you know what? If we just stay steady, just go one person every day. And so I would literally take out my phone every single day. It was like 9:30 at night and no one had signed up. I would just pick up my phone and start going through my Rolodex and just calling people and they're like, oh, good idea. I'm like, can you sign up? They're like, yeah, I'll sign up. I'm like, I need you to sign up now,
It is so hard to get people to do things.
Yeah. And I did it for months, and then eventually slowly took off. We got 1,000 people the first year, and then COVID happened, and all of a sudden a lot of people who gave daily, whether they're reminded in their synagogue or whatever, there was no synagogue, you couldn't go. And so it started growing more and more, and we started getting different influential people to speak, and they signed up themselves. I know Elon Gold, the Jewish comedian, he signed up very early, like maybe 3 months in, and he's been a huge help and fan of what we're doing. And so he made a little video for us on his porch during COVID, and it went viral, and probably like 1,000 people signed up from it. So
that's awesome. Elon's the man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Elon. That's so cool. I mean, I experience that all the time. I'm involved with a lot of different causes and boards, and even just, with this podcast, getting people to subscribe. Like, I'll have people be like, oh, I love the show, I love the clips. I'm like, well, are you subscribed to? And they're like, no. It's tough to get people to do anything. So like, how long did you have to sustain yourself being the one to like get these people one by one?
Yeah, it took a while. And I think that if I look back, Jonah, and I think about the one God-given talent he gave me, it was that he gave me this like resilience and just attitude of stick-to-itiveness, that's really what I had. And I think that it was only because I only had one epiphany my whole life. I never had anything like that besides that one night where I had it. It was so like deeply ingrained in me. Like I thought I had $1 billion idea, and I was like, this is it. And it just never went away. And I wanted to quit. Like it was just inside of me. It's like, no, go, whatever. Every person who signed up loved it. They loved being a part. We sent an email every day to all our givers telling them where the money goes that day, and they get a video and a link, and they learn about new charities. And so the satisfaction rate from what the givers were telling us was so high, right? Like everyone would say, at first I'll tell someone, hey, you want to sign up? They're like, oh, I don't want to get an email. I get enough emails. And then I'll have friends who are CEOs of big companies. They're like, Jonathan, I get 10,000 emails a day. And this is like the one email I always open. Like I love how it makes me feel. We're humans. We're so hard on ourselves. And then there's so much going on, and we're the negative self-talk. And all of a sudden, ding, the email comes and you're like, oh, thank you for your donation. You gave someone that day. You're like, oh yeah, I'm a giver. Like, oh yeah.
If nothing else, I helped somebody, who needed help today, no matter what else my busy life had me doing.
Exactly.
You're up to having given to something like 80 organizations almost. Is that right? Am I in the ballpark?
Yeah, you're in the ballpark. And we had 700 organizations apply to us last year. And that became I didn't even tell you, we take nothing, by the way. Like 100 cents of every dollar goes to charity.
Right.
We do have a budget. We have employees and we have marketing we do. But we just fundraise that completely separately. So there's two accounts. There's the charity account, and then there's the operations account. And I fundraise the whole budget separately for that. So that's
wow.
That's my third full-time job.
I want to get into that. Let's go back to the 80 organizations thing. How do you select? Like what's the right criteria? And also, how did you select who to start with at the beginning? Like what was your criteria then, and has it changed at all to now?
When we started, I had called this very famous rabbi. Someone gave me his number. And he's an international speaker, and he's very popular, and he has so many followers. And I told him the idea, and he says, great idea. You should get a rabbinical counselor together because people don't know who you are. And if you have this thing, they have to trust that it's not going to your kid's college fund. And I said, that's a good idea. So at the beginning, it was basically the board, like my friends who we started and the rabbis, we kind of did, okay, what charities do you like? What charities do you like? And we put the charities that we were, familiar with and very passionate about already. And that's how we started. We started with 36 organizations. The next year we went to 54. The next year, and then now we're going to be over 100 soon. The due diligence we do. If I should show you the reports, we have a whole team of like Harvard lawyers that basically like do our due diligence and for free. And we go over it. And we have an allocation committee, and we have a board, and we have a rabbinical council. So it's like we take it very seriously. Like we're giving out over $8 million we're the stewards of people's money. Actually, this week, Jonah, an anesthesiologist from Florida, this young woman, she's like early 30s. She gave $29,000, and I called her and I was like, That's not usual, right? Most people
Like
give
in
$1
a day, at one time.
In one chunk, she gave $29,000. And I asked her, and she said, I give 10% to charity, and I don't have the time to really properly vet and do what you do. And I really love so many of the charities you give to anyway. So I just give it to you one chunk. And I was like blown away.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a really interesting way to frame it, right? I mean, to think about, it's not just, oh, we're giving $1 a day. It's, you can also just trust us with this donation, and it's going to get spread out all over all these incredible organizations.
Exactly.
Have you messaged it like that before?
Yeah, we did. I mean, there's a little bit of like, careful. These are our partner organizations. They also try and help us grow. And so, we don't want people to think of us as instead of, it's in addition to. So,
right.
If you're going to give your kid's school or your synagogue or whatever your favorite charity is, you're giving your big checks there, it's just an extra $1 a day. This is more about unity. Like, I'm a unity guy. I love all Jews. I love all people. Like, this is good for everyone, right? And so that's what I'm most proud of. I'm a grandson of 4 Holocaust survivors, and to me, it's about unity. And like, there's a lot as Jews we don't agree on, but like giving charity is just like in our blood to be givers. We really take pride that it's a diversified portfolio of charities. We give to widows and orphans and cancer organizations and special needs and substance abuse and mental health and life-saving and stem cells and, prison, like jail, like if Jews go to jail, and they can't pay for the kids, like think about the wife and the kids, like they have no money, they can't send their kids to camp. There's an organization called Aleph that does that. Like we really, like, that's different, right? It's not your everyday. Big magazine wrote an article about us. So 100 people signed up for the article, but 2 weeks later they published a letter to the editor that I really love, and the person had written that I always struggle with charity because I always felt like my $18, my $36 check or whatever, I feel like, what kind of impact am I having? But with daily giving, for the first time in my life, I'm giving, at the time it was over $14,000 a day. It's like I feel like I'm a big philanthropist.
Wow.
And I was visiting a domestic violence shelter in Israel that we support. And I showed the email that, of the day that this shelter got the money from daily giving, and the woman burst out crying. And when she composed herself, she said, I can't believe there are over 15,000 people that know about us and care. And there's like another, just another, like, I've been in this a while, and I just, just to see, like, from her perspective, it wasn't even about the money. It was just that there was like, wow, people know about us. They care about us, But my all-time best story, I have to tell you, your listeners, is that a gentleman signed up for $1 a day, and then a minute later signed up again, and then a third time, and then 5 times in 5 minutes with 5 different email addresses. And I called him and I thanked him, and I said, who did you sign up for? And he said, I signed up for my wife and my 3 children. I said, wow, that's incredible. How old are your children? He said, they're 1, 2, and 4. And he said, I already reserved their Gmail addresses. And now in 7 or 8, 9 years, whenever I give them their password, they open and they log in for the first time. They're going to see just one email, but that email is going to be repeated thousands of times. And they're going to see, thank you for your donation. And they're going to know that they've been givers their entire lives.
Wow, that's so powerful. Do you know who your giving community is, like demographically? Like, where are they, and from where on the Jewish observance spectrum are they, and do you have any non-Jews? Like, I'm just curious to know who your givers are.
Yeah, so we try to make it the sign-up process as easy as possible. We want it to be really easy and like not have anything that says, because like you said before, if there's like one thing that someone doesn't feel connected, that's it. They won't sign up. It has to be like quick and easy. So we don't know religious level, observance level, Jewish, not Jewish. We don't know. You can tell from the names, and sometimes that's who they're signing up for in honor of the IDF or whatever. That people sign up for all different reasons. But just this week, literally this week, someone signed up, someone emailed my staff and said, I'm not Jewish, can I join? Like, that was like the most respectful, beautiful thing. Like, really? Of course you can join, So I know that 91% of our givers are in the US, and 9% are from 42 other countries.
That's so cool that you're getting that international reach. Is amazing.
I'm kind of disappointed. I think that we're at about $22,700 now dollars a day, and I think we should have been 100,000 people a long time ago. The great Mel Robbins says, if a thought pops into your head that requires action, and you don't take action within 5 seconds, you probably won't. Right. So it's really one of those things that if anything we say today inspires you to even think about this, like, go on dailygiving.org, take one moment, and join. You will not regret it. This is, I get told every day, this is their people's favorite charity. There's giving charity, but when you give charity with 20,000 of your brothers and sisters every day from all over the world, and then the impact for something like with inflation, like it just gets cheaper. Daily giving gets cheaper every single day,
So you mentioned this is sort of like, fundraising for operations is your third full-time job, assuming the other side of this is your second full-time job, plus the chiropractic practice is the first. Like, how are you balancing all of that? And how big of a chunk of your life is this when you're, running an office all day?
For a while, it became very difficult. I'm not going to lie. It became, I've been in practice for 19 years. And so thank God my practice, I have enough referrals of patients telling each other about me that I don't really have to do that much to kind of make that part go. But yeah, it's people are like, how much time you spend on daily giving? I'm like, all of it, except for when I'm in the room with the patient, right? Earlier today, I saw patients all day today, so, but it's, I have a great wife, like an amazing wife. That is so important. She's so supportive and
critical.
And, I'll sleep when I die, as they say.
It's brutal. I can only imagine. I mean, I'm involved in a lot of stuff myself, and for me, balance is the thing I'm always chasing. And I can imagine it's gotta be just a slam for you all the time.
Jonah, I'll tell you a line someone said to me that on that, what you just said, that hopefully it really helped me, is that we are all always chasing balance, right? But really, we're never going to find balance. It's understanding that there's trying to find balance in the imbalance. That's what we're looking for. It's balance in the imbalance.
I don't know. I feel like you can, it's like, when you're on a surfboard, there's always a little bit of a teeter, right? But you're trying to get as close to that equilibrium as you can. So I'm not necessarily looking for perfection, but I think there is a level of, okay, I'm on this, I'm riding this wave, as opposed to I'm out of control, I'm tipping, I'm about to crash,
Absolutely. To me, that's a balance in the imbalances.
I've read in an interview speaking about, scheduling and balance and all that, you said you've given up Tuesdays. What does that mean?
Tuesday, I don't see patients anymore. I used to see patients 5 days a week. And so Tuesdays are my days for meeting my whole team, my daily giving team. I do have 4 full-time staff. People don't realize we're giving out more money than a lot of Jewish federations. Like, it's a real operation. People don't, think, oh, it's $1 a day. What's so complicated?
Right.
We have a social media team. We have a marketing team. We have a CFO. We have technology. We want to grow this thing.
How big of a team are you right now? How many people?
We have 4 full-time staff, 5 part-time staff.
That's not that huge for, it sounds like, the amount of, everybody's must be really carrying their load.
Yeah, exactly. We all work really hard. It's like bare bones. It really is. Exactly.
And who are you finding to support you on the operational side?
Maybe you're going to have some listeners going to be so impressed and be like, it really is happens to be like the greatest charity ROI in like the world, because when someone gives $1 a day, they love what we're doing so much that they never stop. So like it cost me about $100, maybe even sometimes less, of marketing to get a new daily giver, a stranger, someone on WhatsApp, on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So like that $100, I'm going to get another person to give thousands of dollars to charity. Like, there's not a lot of charity ROIs like that. So that's kind of, I go around and I talk to people and they love what we're doing. They love being a part of it. And so they got it.
How different do things look now? It's 2025. You launched this thing beginning of 2019. Other than the fact that obviously a lot more people are doing it, how different are the operations, your approaches? Has anything changed from that sort of initial model and focus? Or you're just doing the exact same thing and just you get to do it with more money?
No, a lot has changed. First of all, we were like a mom and pop shop. And now we are, we had paid lawyers a lot of money to make sure everything is, perfectly set up. We have a giving policy, the whistleblower, all the different policies in place, to make sure that we're doing everything exactly correctly. We have to self-audit. Our audit costs over $40,000 a year just for that piece of paper from the accounting firm that says what you're doing is that what you said you gave out. Just to give you an example.
Is that like an every nonprofit kind of thing has to do that?
If you're a nonprofit giving out enough money per year, yes, you're supposed to do that. And it's a hard pill to swallow when you have to get someone to donate $40,000 but that's the price of the big leagues, So, but that's just one thing. I think the hardest thing was the due diligence part, just not understanding that when 700 organizations apply, and to take them all seriously, and you don't want to upset anyone and you want to let them down nicely, and not everyone's a good fit. But then even the ones, like when you get 700, there were like 100 that were amazing fits. But you can't, we don't want to add everyone yet. And then you got to go through and make sure that like they're doing a good job, right? It's only going to take one bad organization, one bad apple. If they're doing something wrong, then all of a sudden it could potentially take our reputation down. And so I think there's that. I think that we do have, more name recognition and branding. People know where we are now. I mean, not everyone, I hope none of your listeners have ever heard of us and check us out. But, it's more recognizable. And I think we're a trusted name in charity now. So that helps. It's not as hard in your beginning. If you have a couple hundred people doing it, there's like that another question, right? Like, do I give them? Are they trustworthy?
So I want to dig into that a little bit. So if you could, and of course speak generally, but like, what makes an organization not quite the right fit? What makes them the right fit? Like, we got to get in with these guys. And then what's the line you're towing where, I'd rather have X number of charities receiving a couple days a year versus let's get 365 charities and everybody gets one.
I mean, the goal is to get to 365, like when we're giving $36 million a year. And I mean, my first goal the night I had the idea was, I was like, how many, there's about 15 million, at the time I was like $14.5 million Jews in the world. And like, I refuse to believe we can't get 1% to give $1 a day. That's like the mindset I had. And that's over $52 million a year. And that's still the goal from the day one. Like, that's the first goal. $145,000 a day,
Yeah.
So Jonah, I mean, listen, you're the man. Let's get this thing going, right?
I'm trying. Hey, here we are. But so tell me, what makes an organization not quite the right fit for what you guys are doing?
Yeah, good question. It has to be national or international because of our reach. We don't want to give like just to someone in Chicago or just LA or just New York. So that's number one. It has to be national, even like international organizations, even better. When we started, we also needed the organizations to be very recognizable names, right? So because people are like, who are you giving to? Okay, oh, you give to Magen David Adom. Oh, you give to United Hatzalah. Oh, you give to Chai Lifeline. Oh, some of these bigger, these bigger name organizations. But now we don't need that. Like we don't have to. And so we actually are getting, our sweet spot is like between $1 and $5 million budgets. Because like then we're a sizable, like we're a real donor to them.
Right, that's a big impact. And you're introducing people to, hey, here's this new organization you maybe didn't hear about that now you get to support. Exactly.
One of the organizations we started with, originally their budget was like $400,000. We were giving much less, but at the time they were like $400,000 organization. And I'm not saying we're not taking credit for them being put on the map, right? But they are now like a $5 million a year organization. So I really love that we were like a huge donor to them, and we really they really felt so much gratitude to all our givers for what it did, and then they've blossomed after October 7th. They did so much in Israel, and they just became like a major name.
The goal is to eventually have 365 that fit that criteria, and everybody's getting one bite of the apple a year.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. The goal is really to get as many people to give $1 a day as possible together. It's really. It's just I feel like there's nothing God loves more than when his children do stuff together for each other. Like for our brothers and sisters every single day, like what more could God want, knowing that every day I'm giving something to one of my brothers and sisters. Like I can't think of anything God would want more. God is our Father, we are his children. I know when my children are like get along and they love each other, like nothing makes me happier. It's the same.
Right. So I'm on the board of an organization called One Mitzvah a Day, which is now part of actually JFNA, Jewish Federations of North America. We use text-based messaging to get people, and they just click a link on their phone every day, and we're thanking somebody somewhere in the world, an organization, a politician, whatever, who has done something on behalf of the Jewish people or Israel, just to give them that positive feedback. Have you ever considered doing like text-based messaging in some way so that people like pops up and you just click it and it's done?
Yeah, maybe we have to talk afterwards. I know we use text for something different, like when we did a campaign within our own givers, but nothing like that. Not a cold. So you're saying use the text messaging cold?
No, you have to sign up for it. You have to sign up for it. But then it I guess it's a little different because yours, you get to set it and forget it. Like once you've signed up, you never have to worry about giving again. You're just doing it.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some sort of cross-pollination somewhere. We'll offline about it.
Absolutely.
So you've got a wrapped audience of potential givers here. You've said so much already about why they should give and the joy. Is there anything you haven't said that you want to make sure they take away from this conversation?
Yeah, I just want to double down on the fact that giving is not so you can make you happy. Giving is to align you with your true nature, which is to be a giver. Even if you don't think that or know that. And it just, by the way, it doesn't have to be money. That's the truth. It doesn't have to be money. It could be complimenting a stranger. It could be visiting a lonely neighbor or calling someone who's sick, or it could be giving $1. But do that thing daily. Try it. Do that thing daily and just see what it does to you. Giving transforms you. It literally shines your light, brings your light up and shines it out. And the more when you make that decision to give and give again and give again, you are literally fashioning the vessel so the light can shine through you.
I love that. That's so powerful. You said already you could sign up at it's dailygiving.org. I'm assuming the process, it's just, fill out a couple things, then you start getting those emails every day, right?
Yeah, we can't hit people's credit card every day because the transaction fee is like 30 cents. So that would be a very bad use of your money. So the choices are you sign up for a month or a year, and it's a recurring subscription basically. You can stop anytime you want. Every day you get an email. You could say, I want to stop. A lot of people start $1 a day, and a lot of people, we have more people that go from $1 a day that start adding more dollars a day than we go from $1 to canceling. That's how much people really enjoy it. So
that's proof right there.
Yeah. So if your listeners are like hemming on and thinking about it, I'm just telling you, just literally, it's one of those things where there's this one, I love this video that this one person made for us. And he said like, one day you die and you go up to heaven and there's like thousands of angels. And like, God says like, oh, here you are. And he's like, what's all these things? Like, oh, these are representing like a mitzvah for an angel for every mitzvah you did. You've clothed the poor people and you fed the sick and blah 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 blah. And then he's like, I think you got a mistake. Like it was just me. I didn't do any of that stuff. He's like, oh, remember like 20 years ago you signed up for that organization called Daily Giving? Like that's what this is all about. I mean, it's not. Don't do it for that. But I'm telling you, like I said, the reward you get for giving is that you're a giver. And trust me on this. I wasn't always a giver myself. I'm telling you, like it's transformed me and who I am. And I am blessed to meet incredible people every day and see like the best side of humanity. There's a lot of not good side of humanity, but I get blessed to see like the very best of humanity. And it starts by giving frequently.
Amazing. Dr. D, thank you so much for doing so much good in so many ways. You truly are a blessing unto our people and the world, and appreciate everything you're doing and everything you're about.
Thank you, Jonah. You as well. Keep doing what you're doing. It's great. And we need more people like you out there representing us.
I'm not going anywhere. All right. He's a mensch. It's been 30 minutes. I'm Jonah Platt. Go sign up already.